Hello guys and welcome back to Sonic Labs, and today we are going to learn the Fruity Parametric EQ2, which is also another native plugin within FL Studio. This is an equalization plugin and I'll be explaining everything about it and how can you use it. So let us begin. Now when you load up the Fruity Parametric EQ2, this is how it would look. You can just resize it according to your needs. So if you want to make fine changes within the frequency spectrum, you can keep it on a bigger size, but usually it's fine on the default size. For this tutorial I'll keep it on a bigger size so I can explain everything better. So first of all, we have this spectral analyzer, and this is what will show you all the frequencies which are present within the sound. So if I play this small arrangement that I made, it will show you the frequencies. And on the left hand side you'll have your lower frequencies. As you can see, you have 20 Hertz at the lowest, and as you go towards the right you will have your higher frequencies, and up here you have your labels about the sub, the bass, the low mids, the mids, high mids, and the treble, and all the different labels are here for your reference, so you can just see them while using the EQ to know what exactly you are doing. And the spectrum ranges from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. So at the very extreme right we have 20 kHz, and that's the human hearing range. So that's how the spectral analyzer works within the EQ. Then we have these small EQ points, and right now they are doing nothing, they are just on a straight line, so we are not boosting any frequency or cutting anything. And if you right click on each one of them, you can just change the shape of each EQ point, and I'll be explaining each shape one by one. So let us just begin with the low pass. So if you put your point on low pass shape, it will cut the high frequency, and this is the shape that you'll get. So let's just listen how it sounds. So as I move towards the left, I'll just start cutting the high frequencies. And now we can only listen to the low section of the track. Now you can change the steepness, or we can say Q, of this point by just scrolling up or down. If you scroll down, you'll increase the Q factor, the resonance, like this, and if you scroll up you'll just decrease it. So right now it's at the lowest Q value, and you can see there's not a really steep slope. So it depends on your choice and the type of operation you're trying to do on the sound, so you can adjust your Q size accordingly. And you can also have different orders of Q. So if you go into order section, you have steep and you have gentle curves. So within steep you have option for steep 4, steep 6 and steep 8, and same with the gentle curves. So this is nothing but different Q shapes that you can get, and it will change the steepness of the curve. So if I put it on steep 8, this is the steepest curve that we can get. And by having a really steep curve, we will be cutting very specific frequencies, and if we use a gentle curve, then we'll have a less steeper curve, so we won't be cutting exactly all the frequencies that are present on that point, and some of the highs will be allowed to just pass away. Now next we have the band pass. Now what exactly the band pass does is it allows only a certain band of frequency to pass, which is pretty self-explanatory through its name. So anything which is present within this curved line will be played, and the rest of the frequencies would be just removed. So this is how it would sound. In this case, if you scroll down, you'll just decrease the bandwidth, and if you'll scroll up, you'll increase the bandwidth. So that's how you can use band pass. Next we have the high pass filter, and it is exactly like the low pass, but this time we are cutting the low frequencies. So you can apply all the settings which we did on the low pass on the high pass filter too. So I'll next go to the band stop. Now what band stop is, it is exactly the opposite of band pass. So band pass was allowing us to allow only a certain bandwidth of frequency to pass. Now what band stop will do is, it will cut a certain bandwidth within the frequency spectrum, and it will allow rest of the sounds, the rest of the frequencies to go out. So you can change the bandwidth by using your scroll wheel, and again you can change the steepness by changing the order. Next we have shelf filter. So we have two types of shelves. We have low shelf and we have high shelf. So this is what a shelf filter looks like. Now many times people think that if they just cut down the low frequencies using a shelf filter, they are actually applying a low cut filter, but that's not true, and that can cause you sometimes your mixes to sound muddy. So that's just a tip, that don't use shelf filters to cut low or high frequencies. Now what exactly the shelf filter is meant to do is, it is used for making gentle boosts on your low frequencies or your high frequencies. So I'll just bring this on high shelf. Now we can boost both low and high, and this is how it would sound. So right now I just went to extreme with the boost, but usually you shouldn't be going that high, but for the tutorial's sake I just showed you how the shelf filter would sound. At last we have the peak filter, and this is the most common type of EQ shape that we use. This is basically used to boost or cut any type of frequency that you want, and if you change the Q, you are simply changing the sharpness of the peak that you are cutting or boosting. So again you can change that by scrolling up and down. And also within the peak filter you have the order option. So when you keep it on steep, you will be having such steep curves on both the sides, and if you use gentle curves, then it will be more smooth and it would sound more natural. So whenever you use steep curves, your EQ will be specific, will be more precise, but it can sound unnatural sometimes. So make sure that you are using the correct type of order at right times. So that's how you can use the parametric EQ too. I hope you guys learned something from this video, and if you have any questions about it, then you can just comment them down below and I'll answer them all. And that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next.